So, the non-cooperation movement and the Khilafat movement. Don't get confused with the movements. The first movement, which was initiated by Mahatma Gandhiji on a large scale, was the non-cooperation movement, which was started in 1921 January. Along with the non-cooperation movement, in order to get the Muslims also together and make the Britishers to afraid that all Indians are united, so it is very difficult to control them. Automatically Britishers would decide to give freedom for the Indians. This is a base plan of Mahatma Gandhiji. So he joined the non-cooperation movement with the Khilafat movement in Jan 1921. So the first movement which was started by Mahatma Gandhiji is the non-cooperation movements. Many of the students get confused with the non-cooperation movement and the civil disobedience movement. The second movement which was started by Mahatma Gandhiji is civil disobedience movement. So the first movement on a larger scale was the non-cooperation movement. So Gandhiji started non-cooperation movement with the Muslims, getting them aligned together with the Khilafat movement against the Khalifa. Khalifa is not being recognized by the Britishers. He is not being given the recognition, authority or special place because he is the religious head of Islam communities. So now moving on to the context of non-cooperation movement. What does the non-cooperation movement do? In the non-cooperation movement, it is not the movement of only one section of people. The non-cooperation movement gathered all people from all corners of the society. Men, women, higher class, lower class, middle class, educated, uneducated, teachers, students, lecturers who are studying in the colleges, government schools, working in the government offices, lawyers, peons, those who are being titled by the British government also surrendered their titles back, and people started to showcase their protest. So the sections of the people, the main people who have contributed are the middle class people, and all schools, colleges, lawyers, teachers, students, all boycotted the government function. The non-cooperation literally means that not to cooperate with the government. Gandhiji's ideology behind this one was to bring non-cooperation, to force the Britishers to accept the demands of the Indians. Initially, when Gandhiji suggested this non-cooperation movement with the title of Swaraj, the Congress party itself has different views. The Congress party, some people were in the favor of the momentum, while others want complete freedom or Purna Swaraj. So Gandhiji deliberately discussed with them and told them that initial process should be done like this, and altogether only we can do something. If we break up the party and if we do it differently, the effect will be very less and it will be very easy for the Britishers to control this moment. So Gandhiji's words convinced most of the leaders. The alternative was brought up, the non-cooperative movement was started, and it went on to very huge level with a grand success. People from all corners of the society and all corners of the country got motivated with this one. And not only the colleges, schools, teachers, post offices, courts, lawyers in the courts, judges, police stations. So not only one section, different categories, different sections of people participated, different professionals participated, all were motivated towards the freedom struggle. So what they want is, they want completely freedom. And not only this, they banned all the foreign goods. The foreign goods are completely being banned. The foreign goods are brought outside and made as bonfires. And though the Swadeshi goods, the khadi cloth is being costly also, people started to use all the Swadeshi products rather than using the Videshi products. And because of this, the trade, initially it used to be nearly 1 or 2 crore rupees. In 1921-22, it came down to 57 crore rupees. It was a drastic loss for the Britishers. So this impact started to fall on the economy of the British also. So slowly the anger of the people has been experienced by the Britishers. So the Britishers are trying their level best to control the momentum at various places. They want to terrorize the people to stop the momentum. They used various methods. They used various forces to control the people. But finally, are they able to control the people? How did the people react for the Britishers? The momentum of non-cooperation, how did it spread at the various towns we have seen? Now, the rebellion, how did people revolt in the countryside? The national momentum started to spread to various corners into the depth of the country, length and breadth. So the people started to understand it as a momentum to raise their anger against the Britishers, to showcase their dissatisfaction against the Britishers. So as the time came, the people, the peasants in Awadh are led by Baba Ramchandra. The peasants in Awadh are led by Baba Ramchandra, who was actually an intended labor, a forced labor who was sent to Fiji in the earlier period, who returned back safely, and he started the momentum, who was now basically a sannyasi, who motivated all the peasants to fight against the Britishers. So when he motivated all the peasants' problems were very huge in number. The landlords, the merchants, the talukadars used to force the peasants to work at them at very less cost or no cost, known as a system of beggar. So the beggar was forced by many peasants to work by the merchants, the talukdars. So they used to get huge profits while these people were forced to work for no income. This kind of things made the people to become day by day poorer and poorer. Those who were having a small piece of land also were forced to pay unnecessary taxes and unknown taxes actually for them under the different names, and these people used to pay them. They used to use their whole lands for the talukdars or the merchants or the existing landlords. So as the momentum went on, in June 1920, Jawaharlal Nehru visited the villages of Awadh. While he was moving on actively in the politics, he wanted to understand the actual problems of the peasants. So he went into the deeper parts of the villages and he understood by the ground reality what are the basic problems of the villagers. After understanding this one, they have set up peasant organizations, which is not initially accepted by the Congress, but Jawaharlal Nehru was very much concerned with the problems, and Baba Ramchandra and Jawaharlal Nehru together started the leadership with few others, the peasantry movements. In these peasantry movements, the farmers used to attack all the merchants, all the talukdars. When the non-cooperation movement has stretched on to all over, Gandhiji's words are being misinterpreted by the farmers. They understood that Gandhiji told there is no need to pay any taxes. Gandhiji's words misunderstood. Why we say it is misunderstood is Gandhiji clearly told that he is against the ways of the Britishers' laws and the taxes, but he never said no taxes. And the other thing is, Gandhiji never said that he is going to redistribute the lands for the poor, or he never used the word peasantry at all in any of his moments. But the people, the farmers in the villages understood that Gandhiji told for us no taxes, so we would not pay any taxes. They went and attacked the houses of the talukdars, they went and attacked the houses of the merchants, they destroyed their palaces, they occupied their lands, and they redistributed the lands for the landless poor by forceful methods, by violent methods. This is how where Gandhiji felt very much upset with the ideology of the villagers, because the actual words of Gandhiji are been completely misunderstood by the people of Awadh. And not only this, there was a rebellious momentum which has happened in Andhra Pradesh. that is happened at the hills of Gudem Hills. Gudem Hills in Andhra Pradesh, where the colonial country, or the Britishers colonial government, decided to close all the forest. When the colonial government decided to close all the forest, the tribals, those who are living on the forest only, those who consider the forest as their motherland, those who know only to cut the crops or to do business only with the forest, things like collecting the fruits, collecting the honey and bringing it to the city and selling it, so collecting the various leaves and doing business with this one. So other than this, they don't know anything. So if this is being enforced, if the Britishers are going to close all the forests and the entry of the people has been restricted, it is going to be a life threat for the people of the tribal community. So they need some alternative for this one. And at the same time, Britishers forced the tribal community people to work as a beggar for laying down the roads. So they were also forced for beggar to lay down the roads. During this time, the leader of the tribal community is Alluri Sita Ramaraju. Alluri Sita Ramaraju emerged as a leader. People initially used to believe that he had some special powers. He had some inclination to the incarnation, and he used to heal people even if they were been booted with the bullets, even if they have been hit with the bullets or arrows. He also used to say the revelations like future trends, what would be his predictions, and most of his predictions are almost true many of times. And people started to believe him that he is having some special powers. He is having some connection with the God. He is one of the avatars of the God. Like that, the tribal people started to praise him and got well connected with him. Sitaram Raju, who was basically influenced by the non-cooperation movement of Gandhiji, also praised about Gandhiji and told that Gandhiji's ideologies are very good and excellent, but in order to get independence for us, in order to fight the Britishers, the best way is to use the violent methods, to destroy the police stations, to attack the police stations and to kill the British officials. That's what the message he spread to the people in the Gudem villages, and the tribal people used to attack the police stations and kill the British officials. Like this, he terrorized the people in the Andhra region, especially near the Gudem region. But after a certain period, in 1924, Ramaraju was being captured and he was executed publicly. But still, the inspiration has lived a lot. This is how the momentum of non-cooperation, which Gandhiji initially wanted to have a very peaceful moment, but later on, the stage by stage, it started to become violent and more violent. So let's see what happened for this in the plantation regions. How did the non-cooperation movement has been taken by the workers in the plantations? Swaraj in plantations. The non-cooperation movement, Swaraj in plantations, is another side. We discussed before this that how the momentum has been taken up in the towns, later on by the peasants and the villages. As the time passed on now, we are moving on to a very far off place in the northeast. It would be really that we can appreciate the momentum spread to a very large region actually. Because during those times, we don't have any fast, rapid movies or channels to communicate the information. It's only through the radios and the newspapers the information has to be passed on. But the Gandhiji has been an inspiring person, not only in some parts of North India, but the entire India. So now when we discuss the Swaraj in plantations, the actual meaning of the word Swaraj has been taken as freedom by the people, those who are working in the plantations. So for them, freedom means to move freely. And you may get a doubt. So what is the great difference here? Moving freely is obviously allowed everywhere. The people, those who are working in the plantations, do not have any freedom to move freely. They are not allowed to move out of the plantation. Very rarely they are being given permission to move out of the working plantations. that is a very difficult task. Means they were forced to work whole along the month, whole along the year. That is the working condition here. This is according to the Inland Immigrants Law of 1859. So according to this law or this act, the people, those who are working in a plantation, are not at all allowed to go outside. Very rarely they are being given permission to move out of the plantation. Even if they try to ask permissions also, they are being denied. But as soon as they heard the Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement of Swaraj concept, they all people betrayed their rulers. They all people showed their anger and decided that we can now go freely to whatever place we want. And they also misunderstood that according to Gandhi's philosophy, they are going to give lands for the landless poor people in their own respective villages. So we need not stay here. So they all started to move out freely without listening to anybody. They moved outside completely. They started headed towards their own villages. In their way, the railway has been in strike, the steamer workers are being in strike. So in all places, as people are showing their non-cooperation movement, the peasant workers, those who are working in the Assam plantations, could not move outside of the places. So finally, the police people entered there and they were beaten up brutally. This is the fact which has been happened. But the actual meaning of a non-cooperation movement, which was not being defined by the Congress, went on to very untold phases. The people in the north understood it differently, the peasants understood it differently, the tribals understood differently. In the south, Andhra people understood it to be violent methods, and in the northeastern part, people understood they are going to get freedom. So Gandhi Raj is going to come for us, the British Raj is going to end up for them. So these all inclinations, these all changes, the actual motto of Gandhiji was to move on with a peaceful and non-violent methods. But all people in all works went on going on to somehow the other way into a violent means, because they were not being guided properly, it is not being described properly, it is not being explained properly by the Congress party. However, Congress was not happy with how the movement has been went on. So in this moment, or in this context of Gandhiji initiating the process of non-cooperation movement, we have discussed how the Gandhiji has stepped into the Indian politics. How did he reach to all corners of people by moving to Bihar, by moving to Ahmedabad, by moving to various other places and solving their problems by doing the Satyagraha agitation and making the people to understand what is Satyagraha, the power of the truth. Then you need not be violent. Automatically the power of the truth will make you to be victorious. This ideology made the people to understand it very clearly, but during that time only we have the Khilafat movement raised by the Muslims. So Gandhiji wanted to bring Hindus and Muslims under the same umbrella. So he started the non-cooperation movement plus Khilafat movement in Jan 1921. After he started the movement, it went on to different stages. Even Gandhiji could not able to control this one, because the words of Gandhiji have been misunderstood by different people at different levels. It was, let us take the example of peasants in Awadh. They destroyed the houses of the merchants, they destroyed the house of the landlords, they destroyed the house of the talukdars, and they have made them to be in trouble. Sometimes they even killed them also. When we come to the Gudem people in Andhra region, where they understood that the militant action only is required, we need to blast the police officials, we need to kill the British officials. This is how the people in south understood. When we went on to the northeast, in Assam, where the people are working in the plantations, there the people understood that they got complete freedom. So Gandhiji told us not to follow any rules of the British Raj. So Gandhi Raj is going to come. So we will move out of the plantations. We will not work under any of the British officials. Land will be redistributed for the landless poor people in their own villages. So they started to head towards their own houses. This is how the momentum has got changed the entire shape to another shape. But the interesting fact is, let us take the peasants of Awadh or the Gudem people or the workers in the plantations. All use the word Swatantra Bharat. All want freedom. All were connected with the ideology of one nation, Indians. This is how the momentum created oneness among all sections of people.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.